Alright everyone, so we're back in the studio. So just like a few weeks ago, we did a long exposure challenge. Link is right here. But this week we got a new challenge in store. So instead of going outside and freezing, because we all live in New England here and it's cold outside, we decided to shoot inside. And we have this studio, and basically the idea of this one is we want to see who can come up with the most creative photo inside of the studio using lights, using long exposures, whatever you want. Portraits are even allowed. But yeah, so we're gonna get into this. Let's see what Jack has in store.
So for this challenge, I decided to use my new lens ball. I've been experimenting with this thing. It's a lot of fun. It looks really cool. And I just thought it would look really neat with all the string lights and these gels that we have up here. There's some purple and there's some blue over there. So when I first came up with the idea to use the lens ball in the studio, I thought it was gonna look completely different. So I thought like the string lights would just kind of, I don't know, look like string lights in the lens ball. But what I quickly figured out is toward like the ends of the lens ball, like toward the edges, you get this really intense bokeh effect, so everything just turns more round, but it looks really cool. Yeah, you can see here in these example photos, they didn't really that like precise string light look, but I just decided to go with it. And yeah, I just really like the purple look, especially with the orange as kind of like a contrast. I basically just shot this, I shot it a couple different ways. So the one that you saw with the blue, of course I shot it going this way. I had to flag the window because I was getting this weird white light in the middle. It was kind of annoying. So, but I shot most of them going this way, and I tried to get some of the string lights between me and the lens ball. But yeah, it was just kind of hard. I don't know, the lens ball does what it wants. So to shoot this, I used my 50mm lens, and it was a lot darker in here when I shot this originally. I just had the two lights, two soft boxes. So because of that, I shot it at 400 ISO, and the shutter speed was kind of slow. It kind of got like this blurry effect. So in hindsight, maybe I should have used a tripod, but you know, whatever works. All right, well that's how I did my photo. Let's see how Joe does. Let's try that again. All right, so that's what I did with my photo. Why was I looking at your shoes? So that is how I did my photo. Let's see what Joe came up with.
All right, guys. So Joe here. Very excited to be showing you how I created my photo. You guys might be wondering what this weird light is on my eyes, but I'll flip you around here. It's a tiny little projector. It's a nebula. Works pretty well. I like it. Ooh, it's a little dark over here, but I like it a lot. It's good for like reviewing our footage and stuff like that, so we can like actually blow it up onto our backdrop and get a big screen. But for this competition, basically I wanted to do a portrait style photo shoot with my girlfriend, Nicole. But more so, let's walk you through how I actually achieved the photo. So over here, we have our projector, which is obviously giving light. It's just kind of like a head-on source of light. But then if you come over here, I took one of our soft boxes, rigged this up. Basically, I have our soft box. I put a darker blue gel on it, and then I noticed that the light was too much. It was very bright on the backdrop, which was like washing it out almost essentially. So what I did was I decided to diffuse it with this right here, and then I decided to position Nicole, the model, more towards here. I'll back up more towards this side of the frame. I'm blocking the projector, which is why you can't see it, but I had her positioned more over here, so that way this diffused light would be acting as more of a backlight on her. So I positioned her here. We just got comfortable. We shot for a little bit. I tried a few different pictures, just started getting like a look, just trying to figure out how to actually shoot it. It was for a little bit, I was kind of like struggling, but then I kind of figured it out. And what I figured out was if I took my Lume Cube, took a purple gel, like a soft like magenta purplish gel, and blasted the Lume Cube just up from underneath her from like the ground, adding like a key light onto her face as she was kneeling down and we were shooting, which that acted as the key more than the projector. And then the projector was able to just kind of add these abstract like pixelated colors to her face. And after I realized that the key light was going to be coming from the Lume Cube, because at first I was thinking that the projector would just be the key light, like, oh, that's going to be what lights up her face, it's just going to be an even fill. But I realized quickly that it didn't look the greatest, so adding that key light, having that hair light behind her, kind of gave me a 3-point lighting, and then the projector was just really honestly added that abstract touch. But let me flip on the light so that way you guys can actually see me while I talk about how I shot it, or what I did for the settings. So I decided to take Max's A7S and shoot with that, with the 35mm on it. I kind of would have liked to have a longer lens and maybe separated myself from the model, kind of blowing out the projector colors like in the background a little bit more, but 35 did perfect. I really liked the look of it with the 35, so I just ran with that. So I used a shutter speed of 250, turned the f-stop down to a 1.5, just really open, trying to get some of that bokeh in there. And then I was rocking the ISO pretty high at 12,800, so pretty high, which is why I wanted to use Max's camera again. His camera just does so much better in low light. When you want to crank up that ISO, it just doesn't make it super grainy. I did notice in a few pictures still though, it was grainy. Like you could tell that it has grain. Essentially worked, I got the lighting right, but those were roughly around the settings that I was shooting at. But yeah, so very fun photo shoot. Only took us about like 30 to 45 minutes. Setup was longer, especially because I was also alone and Max wasn't here. Max and Jack weren't here to like help me set everything up. Setup was probably the longest part for me. It was just like figuring out how to get the projector to actually get into the middle of the room was hard. I don't have an HDMI cord that's longer, so I kind of had to set it up on this stool down here. Yeah, I had to set it up on the stool down here, but it all ended up working out, and I'm very happy with the way these photos came out. But yeah, all right, that's my photo. That's how I achieved my photo shoot in the office this week. So let's turn the camera around and let's find out what Max has in store.
So this is a good example of how not all things go according to plan. My plan was continuing with the theme of 2 weeks ago, I love the light trails, getting them wherever I can, and I figured drumming, hey, you got a lot of movement in there, it could create some really cool paths. But things didn't exactly work out that way. I'm not exactly sure why either. I think it has to do with the string lights not being powerful enough to overpower these lights, of all things. Never thought these lights would be too powerful. Yeah, it didn't exactly work out, but I mean, hey, what are you gonna do? Happens sometimes. So I came up with this photo, which I think it's still a cool shot. Not what I was going for, but what are you gonna do? So I went from trying to do a long exposure to just doing a still. Well, they're all stills, but a more still. Quickly realized when the first photo popped up on the screen that I wasn't getting any trails. I still liked the composition and everything, so I decided just to snap off a few regular exposed photos, and yeah, that's what I ended up with.
Alright everyone, so that wraps up this week's photo comp. Had a lot of fun, just like all the other ones that we've been doing. Definitely had a lot more restrictions in this one, being confined to the size of our room, but hey, we're creative people and we do what we gotta do to make it work. Just one last time, just wanted to give you all of the photos right here. Take a good look at those. Leave a comment below saying who you think should win. But that concludes this video. Thank you guys so much for watching. Stay fresh, stay hydrated, and we'll see you next time.